Alright, I'm gonna make my first cocktail in the van. Very simple ingredients. Water, a little mini bottle of tequila that I want at my family Christmas, and citrus element. Having a little bit of a get shit done day today. Did some work this morning, just finished up doing laundry, putting clothes away now. I take Cub for a walk because he hasn't done anything today. Then I'm gonna get a workout in, do my dishes that I still haven't done from last night, and then clean up the inside of the van a little bit. Sticking around the area tonight, we're gonna watch the national championship game tonight. Tomorrow I'm gonna head down to Madera Canyon, do some camping and hiking down there, and then I'm gonna head over to the ranch that I used to work at and stay there for a few days. So should be a good week and weekend. Finally got a rug for this dump. I swear it feels like every other day I've got some cleaning project I have to do. Today it's reorganizing my drawer of camera shit. Almost 2 weeks in now. Definitely time to start putting together a couple of projects and making some content. I'm playing around with the idea of maybe putting out some of my photo presets. So I've been trying to go around and get some more photos. So we'll see. So for this test, we're gonna do 15 grams of coffee for each brew and 250 grams of water. I'm using the same beans. I don't know why I'm trying to talk over the grinder. So obviously using the same beans for every process. I ran out of really good beans that I loved that I bought before I left Ohio. I stopped at a coffee shop in New Mexico and bought some beans, and they're just okay. So I think that I have enough water brewed for all of these. While the water's boiling, I'll talk about the different brew processes that we're gonna try out. This came with, I got like a package deal for buying the grinder. So it came with the grinder and then this little pour over, and then the pour over comes apart and turns into a mug. The mug has a lid and it came with a mesh screen. I'm not gonna use the mesh screen. Too hard to clean this mesh screen when you're out in the van I don't need coffee grounds everywhere. Favorite way to make coffee over the last couple of years is the Hario V60. This method also takes up the most space in the van. It's glass, so it has the potential of breaking. And then the third one is the AeroPress, which most people who go camping or backpacking are familiar with the AeroPress. I'd say between the vessel pour over and the AeroPress, they both are durable. They both take up about the same amount of space. If there's one issue with this setup in general, it's that this vessel coffee grinder doesn't grind the coffee as fine as I would like for a pour over. And because the grounds aren't as fine as I would like them to be, the water filters through the coffee a little bit faster. I mentioned that I was doing 15 grams of coffee to 250 grams of water for each of these. Typically when I do a V60 pour over, I'll usually do either 25 or 30 grams of coffee to around 500 grams of water, depending on the bean. Once I buy a bag of beans and brew it a few times, I can kind of dial in how much water I want to use for that amount of coffee grounds. With a light roast coffee, you want the water to be as hot as possible. If you're drinking a dark roast, the water doesn't have to be quite as hot. So if boiling's 212 degrees Fahrenheit, you want to bring the water to the boil, start brewing as soon as you can. So I'm not actually measuring temperature, but I'm just going to bring it to a boil. For the AeroPress, I'm just going to dump the beans in. You don't need to pre-wet the paper on an AeroPress. We're going to press into this little glass here. The pour overs, I am going to pre-wet the papers. More than anything, even if it doesn't take out the taste of the paper, it helps keep the paper in place. I only have one scale, so we'll have to do this kind of quickly. I think we'll do the AeroPress first because it just sits and brews, and then we'll do the pour overs. Some people like to do the inverted method when they do the AeroPress. They put the plunger in the bottom, turn it upside down like that, and then they put the grounds in and then pour the water over. I don't know why you would do it that way. To me, that just seems like unnecessary risk of spilling hot coffee fucking everywhere. And then for both of the pour overs, we'll do a 30-second bloom. So you pour twice the amount of water to coffee grounds. So I have 15 grams of coffee, so I'll pour 30 grams of water, swirl it around so all the grounds get wet, let it sit for 30 seconds, and then immediately go into pouring the rest of the water in. All right, so our 2 minutes is up on the AeroPress. We're just gonna give it a swirl to mix up the grounds. Press. I think this is gonna fit in this cup. Well, that just barely fit. Full to the brim here. Our coffee in the Hario V60 pour over is just about done. So this is the V60. This is the AeroPress. This one is obviously the vessel. So far, 2 weeks being in the van, I've actually only done the V60. So just for like functionality and aesthetics and how it makes me feel to drink out of stuff. Oh, great, got a bug. What I've been doing, I kind of hate drinking out of travel mugs. For some reason, I don't know why. So even without a lid, this one will stay warmer longer. But what I've been doing is brewing the coffee, pouring it into a travel mug, and then pouring it into these glasses and drinking out of these. Overcomplicating things, to be sure, but anyway, let's get to battery dead. So let's get to the test. I'm gonna start with the AeroPress because it's so full. Oh, these are like the perfect drinking temperature now. Okay, so I can definitely tell the difference between the V60 and the AeroPress. This one's just like lighter. I'd say less flavor, but hard to put my finger on exactly what the difference is, but I don't really even like one. I wouldn't say that I like one more than the other. I think I probably like the AeroPress a little bit better. Mainly has to do with the grind size that I'm able to get with this grinder. But comparing between these two with the grind size all being the same, I get a little bit better result, I think, out of the AeroPress. I don't know, it just has a little bit more of the flavor coming through. Again, I wish this was a coffee that I liked better and that had more of those normal fruity, funky, light roast flavors that I normally get. I feel like I could talk more about the flavors that I was getting, but this is more like
Even though it's a light roast, it still kind of has that like dark chocolate. The vessel pour over and the AeroPress taste more alike. I think that has a little bit to do with the time. So the vessel pour over brewed a little bit slower than the V60 pour over. Even though those are both pour overs with the same grind size, the vessel poured a little slower. So I think that it pulled a little bit more flavor out of the coffee. Not a coffee expert, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. This is just how I just like coffee a lot. I kind of had a feeling that I wasn't really going to come to much of a conclusion doing this test. I've got room in the van, so I'm not getting rid of any of them. And I think they all serve a different purpose. When I want to drink more coffee, I will probably do the V60 because I can brew essentially like a cup and a half to about 2 cups. But 15 grams of coffee, 250 grams of water is like the perfect amount for 1 cup of coffee. So if I'm just gonna sit down and drink 1 cup. Now I do have some mornings in the van where I sit down on the computer and work on stuff for a while. So V60 pour over, better for that. I like this mug. Kind of the same as the AeroPress, like I can brew directly into this, put the lid on this thing. It's a little bit, I like drinking out of this a little bit better than other travel mugs. I will say for now, all 3 of these methods are great for van life if you're trying to figure out how to do coffee in the van. If you like good coffee, all 3 of these methods I think work pretty well. I think the V60 pour over just makes a better cup when there's more. So only doing 15 grams of coffee and 250 water for the pour over. I think it needs more total volume to like fully get the full purpose of using this method. Van life is new to me. Coffee is not new to me. If you're doing van life and you want a better way to do coffee, I would say try any of these 3 out. Price-wise, technically most expensive for the vessel because it came with the grinder. So I think the grinder, the deal that I got with the grinder and I think they call this the Nest pour over, $80 altogether with the combo deal, which it's more expensive than it should be. AeroPress is the cheapest. This AeroPress is like 4 years old and still works fine. I think the AeroPresses are like $30, and then I think this was 60. Aesthetically, I mean, it doesn't get much better than the V60 with the like oak details on the top part of the pour over. It just looks the best, and it's not really close. I've got some coffee to drink. Hopefully that helped. If you, I don't know what you would possibly need help with figuring out how you want to brew coffee, but I've got some coffee to drink and some work to do. So, see you later. Thank you for watching and making it all the way to the end of this video. My channel is not sponsored and maybe never will be, but for now I wanted to at least set up a way for people to support me if they wanted to. I created a Buy Me a Coffee account. I want to keep making these videos. I want to keep documenting van life and talking about the ups and downs, but it takes a lot of work to film all this stuff and edit it and find somewhere with Wi-Fi to upload it. One way that you can help me to make all that happen is just by clicking on the link in the description to my Buy Me a Coffee account. No membership bonuses or anything like that as of yet, but if this takes off and people donate and I keep making videos, that's something that I definitely will consider doing. So thanks again for watching. Consider donating if you're able. If not, that's perfectly fine too. Very happy to have you here either way. And I will see you the next time I upload a video. Hello. Hey.
What's going on?
I was filming some stuff for YouTube.
Yeah. So you're in a little snowy. You still in Sedona?
It's not snowy anymore, but yeah, I'm still in Sedona.